Hello everyone, my name is Kenneth and welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to talk about a topic that happened few weeks ago, if I'm not bad. Um, I don't know if you remember, but last month PlayStation was celebrating the State of Play on February 12th, if I'm not bad. And there was a lot of game, and really that was a very interesting state of play. Normally, that is not like that, in the last state of play in 2025, we unfortunately doesn't have too much game to see in there, but this was different, and there was one game that was very interesting for me, and it demonstrates the result of the industry in the actually 2026, because I don't know if you are current, but in the last year there was many interesting indie games, and I was very surprised, and I never expect Sony was introduced to the indie games in this year. I don't know if you know what game I mean, but maybe you already know. It's not a surprise, but you that game is God of War: Sons of Sparta. Um, Sony, one of the biggest developers in the industry, was releasing a Metroidvania game. This genre, this type of game, is I think it's exclusively for indie studios, but this year we have this one. So no more introduction, and let's start with the video.
Okay, everyone, as I already mentioned it, this happened on the State of Play of February 12th, and as you can see, that was one of the biggest announcements on the State of Play. There were many games, but um, that was for the ending of the state of the transmission, and that was like one more thing. And also we had God of War trilogy, but I don't want to focus on those games, and I want to focus on the actual Metroidvania game of God of War. And you already know this game was Shadow Drop, so after the transmission, everybody can go to the PlayStation Store and buy the game. Um, I was looking, this game wasn't too good. There are many opinions myths. They don't think this has the quality of PlayStation Studio, but I don't want to focus on that topic. I just want to see the most important thing. You already know last year was one very good year of games, and we got two, I think, two of the biggest indie games in all the history. I know, maybe I'm overrating these games, but for me, they were very good and very solid, and that was demonstrated on all of the awards they win at the end of the year. So maybe you already know, but I'm meaning to Clear Obscure Expedition 33 and Hollow Knight Silson. Those games, I think they changed the opinion of all the developers, because normally we were thinking indie games were a different sector of the market, and they can only sell for people that is very interested in this kind of games. But I think the companies are looking different on on this year, and the result of that is Sony publishing one Metroidvania game about God of War. That was very surprised. I think I also know that was leaked, I think, few months ago, but even with that, I I want to see that until before believe it. because sometimes they leak many information, but that doesn't happen in the end of the transmission or the end on the stage play. So we already got that game, and we already can play that game. And my opinion is, you know, this industry is changing every year, and I'm very happy with that. Uh, I think AA games are one of the key for the next years in the industry, and my opinion is I'm very glad with that, and I expect Sony made more video games because it's very sad to see um wait maybe 2 years for one game. Maybe if Sony can make more of this kind of games, we can get like one game every 4 months, 5 months. We don't know. I also know this game doesn't have that high quality. We are uh, we already expect from Sony, but it's okay. So it's the first shot, so they can they can do better in the future. So I want to know, uh, what do you think about that? Do you expect this kind of game from Sony, or you only want AAA games like God of War, Uncharted, The Last of Us Part 2, and many, oh, also Spider-Man? That was one of the best games maybe Sony have made until today. But what do you expect? That kind of games, or you are interested in more indie games? Because I want more indie games really. So I think they can create more experience, very different from the natural. And all the games of Sony are very similar. Maybe if they try with something different, we can get one of the biggest games in the history. So no one's know. Um, I want to see you in the comments, and I want to know your opinion. That's very important.
Okay, that was the topic for the video of today. So I expect you you enjoy the video, and for me that was a very interesting topic. Sony is not one of those developers that is making that kind of video games, so I want to focus on that. You know, the industry is changing, and every day companies wants to create the project with low amount of money, but I don't see that with I don't see that no good, because one of the greatest games of the last year were indie games. So I expect only Sony made more of these kind of video games, maybe 3 or 4, 5 even. They will be very great for the catalog of PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 is not having too much kind of games every year. So I expect that, and maybe in the future we can have some studios from PlayStation developing exclusively only indie games. But never know. Maybe that can happen in the future. Now, this is a very important thing. I want to hear your opinion. What do you think about PlayStation making indie games? Do you think that is very good, or do you think that is something that PlayStation don't need to do, and maybe they can leave that for indie studios, or that people that is in secret, in secret they are creating those own games, and maybe big companies doesn't have to interfere in those projects. I want to hear your opinion, and leave a comment below here, and I open to suggest. Maybe you have a topic interesting. I will take that for the next video. And I think I already say everything I want to share with you today. And in my opinion, these kind of games are very good, and I want to see more in the future. Not with the quality of God of War Sons of Sparta. I know Sony can do better than that, but indie games on PlayStation Studios, for me, they are very good. I don't have problem with that. Um, Nothing else to say. I expect you already enjoyed this video. I want to hear your opinions and leave a like, subscribe, please. That's very helpful for me. And see you in the next video. Bye bye.